Hey guys, I've had a lot of questions in the last 3 or 4 days in regards to what kind of offense and defense we're going to be running, how do the special teams play a factor in the game, etc. So I'm going to answer those real quick. Offensively, we're going to run the wing T. I've been a defensive coach for 20 years, and honestly, the wing T is one of the more difficult offenses to defend. There's so many different things that you can do within the wing T offense, and we have some pretty good skill players coming back this year that are very familiar with the system. And I feel that since we are starting late, just like everybody else, instead of trying to teach everyone a new offense, I think this is the best course of action at the moment, is a continuation of what we did last year. We're going to add some new things to the offense. My philosophy is I want to get the ball to the playmakers, and if you can make plays, you will get the football. And I call them touches. I don't call them carries. I don't call them catches. Those kids who can make plays need to touch the football as many times as possible, and it's our job as coaches to get those kids the football, and that's what we're going to do. Defensively, we're going to base out of a 4-3 defense. We've had a lot of success over the years. Last season, we went to the state semifinals. Last year's team only gave up 14 points a game, played 14 games. We were 12-2. Had a really good success. It is a read defense. Players on defense are going to stay at one position. They're not going to play multiple positions. I want those players to learn the position that we put them at. And in terms of practice structure, most of our players are going to just play on one side of the ball this year for various reasons. But the main reason is, in the long term, playing on one side of the ball in this day and age of high school football is really the best way to practice and prepare for opponents. There's so many times last year that I've heard from coaches and some of you players that talked about you played one position one week and one position the next. Coaches saying that, we only had very little time to rep our starters that week, et cetera, because so many people were going on both sides of the football. So I'm going to eliminate that and make it easy. And if you're a defensive player, you're going to stay on defense until you can't prove that you can play defense. And we have some really good coaches. The scheme works. It's always been very successful everywhere I've gone. And I promise you that it will work here without a doubt. I have no doubt in my mind. It's a very disciplined defense. It's going to basically, we're going to teach it to where you're going to be fast and physical and running downhill and making plays. That's the bottom line as a defensive player. Special teams, the philosophy on that is our special teams provide the winning edge, which means we flip the field in our kicking game with our kickoffs and our punt coverage and our punters. And then I want to guarantee, I want to have about a 75% opportunity that once we get to the 20-yard line that we're guaranteed points, either through a touchdown or by kicking a field goal. And so every great team that I've been on has had excellent special teams, and that will be no different at Union Grove. So that's a brief little introduction on what we're going to do in the 2020 football season. Thanks.